Officer Gaza, are you ready to share your opinion about Palestine and its capital, Yehudistan?
Yes, Agent Synthetic, I am. To understand Palestine from a biblical perspective, we need to separate perspective from propaganda. Propaganda is used to rally one side against others. From the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 25, we read, "But Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said to them, Every kingdom divided against itself will become desolate. And every city or house divided against itself will not stand." To go even further, from the second book of Samuel chapter 24 verse 1, we read, "The anger of the Lord again flared up against Israel, and he incited David against them, saying, Go and number Israel and Judah." In other words, politics comes with division. Perspective, on the other hand, brings into focus the larger picture for detailed analysis. A good place to start is in the Quran on chapter 17 verses 1 through 4. Verse 1 reads, "Glorified be he who took his servant for a journey by night from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid al-Aqsa, the neighborhood whereof we have blessed, in order that we might show him of our ayat. Verily, he is the Al-Hearer, the Al-Seer." Verse 2 reads, "And we gave Musa the scripture, and made it a guidance for the children of Israel, take none other than me as wakil." Verse 3 reads, "O offspring of those whom we carried with new. Verily, he was a grateful servant." Verse 4 reads, "And we decreed for the children of Israel in the scripture, that indeed you would do mischief on the earth twice, and you will become tyrants, and extremely arrogant." Now since Moses came after Noah, but is referenced before Noah, we need to look at some verses in the Torah. We will start with Genesis chapter 6 verses 5 through 8. Verse 5 reads, "The Lord saw how great was man's wickedness on earth, and how every plan devised by his mind was nothing but evil all the time." Verse 6 reads, "And the Lord regretted that he had made man on earth, and his heart was saddened." Verse 7 reads, "The Lord said, I will root out from the earth the men whom I created, met together with beasts, creeping things, and birds of the sky, for I regret that I made them." Verse 8 reads, "But Noah found favor with the Lord." And further into the story of Noah we read in Genesis chapter 7 verses 1 through 5. Verse 1 reads, "Then the Lord said to Noah, Go into the ark, with all your household, for you alone have I found righteous before me in this generation." Verse 2 reads, "Of every clean animal you shall take 7 pairs, males and their mates, and of every animal that is not clean, 2, a male and its mate." Verse 3 reads, "Of the birds of the sky also, 7 pairs, male and female, to keep seed alive upon all the earth." Verse 4 reads, "For in 7 days' time I will make it rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will bolt out from the earth all existence that I created." Verse 5 reads, "And Noah did just as the Lord commanded him." Here we are told about 3 important numbers, 2, 7, and 40. 2 represents Israel and Yehudistan. The number 7 represents the regions of Palestine. To finish up the number 2, we turn to Genesis chapter 32 verses 10 and 11, followed by verses 25 through 29 of the same chapter. Verse 10 reads, "Then Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, Return to your native land, and I will deal bountifully with you." Verse 11 reads, "I am unworthy of all the kindness that you have shown your servant. With my staff alone I have crossed this Jordan, and now I have become two cows. Verse 25 reads, Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. Verse 26, when he saw that he had not prevailed against him, he wrenched Jacob's hip at its socket, so that the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. Verse 27, then he said, Let me go, for dawn is breaking. But he answered, I will not let you go, unless you bless me. Verse 28, said the other, What is your name? He replied, Jacob. Verse 29, said he, Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with beings divine and human, and have prevailed. To fast forward to current events, there is really only two parts that matter in the area of Al-Aqsa, Israel and Palestine. In order to effectively quote-unquote liberate Al-Aqsa from occupation, and later Palestine, a certain perspective needs to be constructed. In the years between the fall of Israel to the Romans and the development of the Talmud, remnants of both Israel and Judah fled. Those who fled toward the Gulf countries became small clans. Some built the nation-state of Himyar, modern-day Yemen. But with the loss of the temple, there were many who sought refuge with the Ishmaelites. The biggest problem with Muslims today is understanding how the Torah is connected to the Quran. It is wrong to replace one with the other. Christians call the Torah, along with other books of the quote-unquote Tanakh, the Old Testament. Jews, whether they believe in an oral Torah and study the Talmud, still read the Tanakh with an emphasis on the Torah. Why would Allahu Akbar reference the Torah in the Quran, if not for us to study it? The question might be how, but why wait for Mashiach, Jesus Christ, or Al-Mahdi? We can easily determine for ourselves. The perspective question really becomes the relationship between the Talmud to the Quran. For Muslims of Yehudistan, the Quran is our Talmud. Chapter 5 verse 44 of the Quran reads, Verily, we did send down the Torah, therein was guidance and light, by which the prophets, who submitted themselves to all his will, judged the Jews. And the rabbis and priests, for to them was entrusted the protection of Allah's book, and they were witnesses thereto. Therefore fear not men, but fear me, and sell not my verses for a miserable price. And whosoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, such are the Kuffaran. Chapter 5 verse 46 reads, And in their footsteps we sent Isa, son of Maryam, confirming the Torah that had come before him, and we gave him the Injil, in which was guidance and light and confirmation of the Torah that had come before it, a guidance and an admonition for Al-Mu'takun. Verse 47 reads, Let the people of the Injil judge by what Allah has revealed therein. And whosoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, such are the Fasikun to Allah. Verse 48 reads, And we have sent down to you the book in truth, confirming the scripture that came before it and Muhammad over it. So judge between them by what Allah has revealed, and follow not their vain desires, diverging away from the truth that has come to you. To each among you we have prescribed a law and a clear way. If Allah willed, He would have made you into one nation, but that may test you in what He has given you, so strive as in a race in good deeds. The return of you is to Allah, then He will inform you about that in which you used to differ. Thank you for listening.